Now, in this session I'll give you 3 concrete examples of regular operations. Now, so a regular operator operates, changes, modifies a regular language. Okay? So these operators operate on languages. Well, it depends if they're a unary or a binary operator. If they're a unary operator, a regular operator, they operate on one language. If they are a binary operator, regular operator, they will operate on 2 languages. Okay, so we'll do both kinds here. So imagine you have just 2 languages. Remember, two sets of input strings. So after a while, we'll stop talking about languages all the time. We'll sort of forget about what a language actually is, like a string of input, a set of input strings to an automaton. After a while, we'll just be talking about languages as a unit. Right? They'll be the focus of attention, rather than what a language itself is, defined in terms of something lower level. Okay, we just talk about languages, right? So you have A and B, just 2 languages, and so now we're going to give you a definition of 3 kinds of operators, regular operators. In other words, operators on regular languages. Okay. So they go under the name. So 3. So giving you the names now of 3 operators, or 3 kinds of operations, regular operations. And the 3 names are union, concatenation, and star. Now, union and concatenation you're familiar with. We've done those earlier sessions. This notion of star, that's new, but we'll come to that later when we come to define it in detail. But let's do it one by one. So now let's see. Star is a unary operator. It operates on one language. Okay. Now the other 2, union and concatenation, they are both binary operations or operators. They operate on 2 languages. Okay? So let the 2 languages be A and B. Right? So by definition, so 3 bars, 3 bars, 3 bars. By definition, A union B is defined to be the set of input strings where, or if you like to say elements, if you like, that so the input string belongs to language A, or the input string belongs to language B. Now from the chapter 0, we're talking about properties of sets. You'll be familiar with the concept of a union, right? So if you just think of A and B as sets, then X is a member either of set A or of set B. So the union of 2 sets is you just take the 2 sets of elements. You take the elements of one set and you take the elements of the other set and you just put them together. Right? It's simple as that. You just you form a union. You bring them together. The elements of one set, the elements of another set, you bring them together. So the union of 2 languages would be a language that includes all the input strings of both languages. Okay, seem reasonable? So in effect, what you're doing is you're taking 2 languages and making a bigger language out of them by just combining the 2 sets of input strings. Right? Or put another way, you're just unioning 2 languages. Just making one bigger language out of them. That's A union B. And the elements of this set, of this language, are just all input strings of both. The input strings of language A and the input strings of language B. So that's all it is, right? Just the union. So that's an example, fairly simple, of operating on 2 languages to create one bigger language. Right? It's just the union of the two languages, A and B. Right, concatenation, a bit more abstract. Now, you're familiar with concatenation of two strings, like here, my right hand, your left side, that string, call that X, and this string here, call that Y. To concatenate two strings, remember, you just bring them together. Right? So you get a longer string called XY, XY, right? XY. So it starts here and ends here. That's a longer string. So to concatenate, just join, bring two strings together. Right? And that's what you know. So concatenation of two languages. What does that mean? Well, you take any string, any member of language A, call it X. Right? You take any input string from language B, call it Y, and concatenate those two. So that'll be your X, that's your Y, and then you form this concatenated string XY. Okay? Here, XY. Where X is any string belonging to language A, Y is any string belonging to language B. For all possible combinations of X and Y. Okay? So how many possible strings will you have in and note the symbol for concatenation of languages is a little circle. Okay? That's in this context of regular operations, this little circle here, you interpret to mean a concatenation of two languages. That's the concatenating, if you like, symbol. So let's say for language A, let's say there are M different input symbols. In other words, the size of your alphabet for A, language A, is M, and the size of your alphabet for, is that right? Oh, we're talking about strings, aren't we? Forget what I just said. We need to know the number of strings. Okay, so say your language A has M possible input strings, let's say finite number. Okay. And language B has N different input strings, let's say a finite number. Therefore, the concatenation of A and B, this much bigger language, how many possible pairs could it have? Would be Mn, M times N, right? I hope that's clear. You notice I'm doing quite a lot of thinking real time, but I hope it makes it more spontaneous. And you see the professor making errors as well. So, okay, now star, a lot more abstract, and you may ask, well, in fact, a general question. What are these for? Why define these regular operations? And good question. That won't become clear until we start using them. I mean, I could try explaining now, but it's probably a bit of a waste of time, because to explain, I'd need to explain the uses, and you need a bit of theory to understand the uses. So, just wait for the motivation. Why define these regular operations this way? What's the point? That will become clearer in time. So a little bit of patience. Okay. So now star is an operation that's unary. It operates just on one language, and it's written as well. Hence the name, like a star here, like a superscript, or another word for star is asterisk. A-S-T-E-R-I-X? Asterisk? I-C-K-S? Asterisk. Anyway, but people just say star. Okay, so it's a superfix. It's sort of up, like a power, where you put a number for raised to a certain power. So it's A, but you just say A star. Okay. Now, how is it defined? Now, it's a unary operation. starring, the verb, a language, what does that mean? It means you create a new language by now look here, you're concatenating two strings.